debt snowball or the avalanche method? Which one is the best for me? Well, after this video, you will have all of the tools and techniques that you need to make the decision on which debt cancellation method is the right one for you. So stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, Fit with Tiff 100. The steps I took to lose 130 pounds. Three secrets that I use to pay off $100,000 in student loan debt. This topic is definitely near and dear to my heart. Out here on the field at the Texans game. How amazing is that? Welcome back, my Fit fam, to another segment of Fit with Tiff 100. Today's topic is about being fit in your finances, and more specifically on the differences between the debt snowball and debt avalanche methods. Now, my name is Tiffany Chanell, and I am the CEO and founder of Money Makeover Ministries. And on my site, you will see many testimonials of some of the clients that I've worked with to help them improve their finances, their education, and their career paths. Also on my site, you can obtain a free guide to starting right now, starting today, to make your money over. And who doesn't like free stuff, right? So I hope you do enjoy that free guide. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So I'm sure many of you know or are familiar with Dave Ramsey and his Baby Steps program. And one of his baby steps, I believe it may be baby step number 2, talks about utilizing the debt snowball method. And also, some of you may have heard of Susie Orman, who is a proponent of the debt avalanche method. Well, my name is Tiffany Chanell, and I plan on sharing with you the pros and cons of each method. That way, you are better equipped to make your own decision on which method is best for you and your needs. Now, before we get into the meat of the video, please like this video if this is the type of content that you like seeing. And also, if you're not already a Fit family member, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to my channel so you never miss more of my uploads in the future, and definitely comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. If you want to know more about debt cancellation, because I do have wonderful topics coming up. And without further ado, let's get started. So, before we start talking about the pros and cons of each method, let's start at the basics. What exactly is the debt snowball method? What is the debt avalanche method? So I'm glad you asked. The debt snowball method is the method in which you take the smallest debt, no matter the interest rate, it's just the smallest sized debt. So the debt with the smallest balance. And you begin paying that debt off while you're still paying the minimum payment on all of your other debt accounts. And any extra money that you get, you attack that smallest debt first, creating a snowball effect. And once you've paid off that smallest debt, then you take the money. Let's say you were paying on let's say you were paying on your student loans, and maybe you only owed $5,000 on your student loans. and you were paying, I don't know, $100 a month on your student loans, and you ended up paying that debt off, then you take that $100 and you begin attacking the next smallest debt, so the second smallest debt. And once you've taken that extra $100 and put it towards the second smallest debt, let's say that second smallest debt you were paying already $200 minimum payment, now you've added the $100 to pay $300 on that debt. Once you've paid that debt off, now you have $300 where you can attack the next smallest debt. And so you do that until you start to create a debt snowball effect. Now, what is the debt avalanche method? The debt avalanche method is different slightly from the debt snowball method. What the debt avalanche method does is you are paying on the debt with the highest interest rate. Let's say you have a student loan debt that has a 4% interest rate, and then you have a credit card debt that has maybe a 18% interest rate. But let's say you owe only $5,000 on your student loans, but you owe $15,000 on your credit card. Well, what the debt avalanche method says is to start paying off the debt with the highest interest rate. And that, of course, would be your credit card debt, if that's the debt that you have that's the highest interest rate. And then once you've paid that debt off, then you take the money you were using to pay that debt off and put it towards the next debt that had the second highest interest rate. So in the meantime, you're still paying on all your debt accounts, but you're paying the minimum amount on those accounts while you're putting as much money as you can towards the debt with the highest interest rate. And that is the debt avalanche method. Okay, my Fit Fam, are you still with me? If you are, and the explanation that I just gave you makes sense, vote yes if it makes sense. If it does not make sense, don't hesitate to vote no, and put a comment down below on why it doesn't make sense, and maybe I can follow up with another video to help you better understand these methods, because my goal really is to help you. I want you to be able to make the right decision so that you too can obtain financial freedom. Now let's get into the pros and cons of each method. Now, why would you choose the debt snowball method? Well, I'd like to share with you some of the pros of the debt snowball method. So the number one pro is the quick win. Who doesn't like a quick win? I know I do. Now, what this means is because you're paying off the debt with the smallest balance first, you're going to pay that debt off pretty quickly. And what that does is it builds up your momentum to start paying on the other debts because you experience a quick win. One debt's gone, and so great, I don't have to worry about that debt anymore. The other pro to the debt snowball method is that when you have that quick win, you immediately have some extra cash that you were using to pay that smallest debt off first. And you can now take that extra cash and start tackling the next debt. And then you get that quick win. And then you take that extra cash and tackle the next debt. And so those are some of the pros of using the debt snowball method. Okay, so what would make me more hesitant in choosing the debt snowball method as the debt cancellation method for me? Well, if the debt that has the highest balance also has the highest interest rate, well, you're saving that debt towards the end to pay off, and you're only paying the minimum for that debt until you've paid off all of the other smaller debts first. So that debt that has the highest balance and also has the highest interest rate will then accumulate more and more interest over time, causing you to owe more debt in the end. So let me give you an example. As I was saying earlier, let's say you owe $5,000 on your student loans, with a 4% interest rate, and you begin tackling that debt first. And then the next debt that you owe may be a credit card debt that has like 18% interest, and that balance is about $15,000. Well, since you're waiting to pay that debt off and you're only paying the minimum, that interest is going to accumulate over time, constantly causing your debt to rise higher and higher. And so in the end, you could end up having to pay back more money of interest than you would have if you would have tackled the highest interest rate debt first. Now that you know the pros and cons to the debt snowball method, let's talk about some of the pros and cons to the debt avalanche method. So why would the debt avalanche method be the right method for me? Now, if my goal is to not accumulate so much debt and interest, then I'm going to want to apply the debt avalanche method and begin paying the highest interest rate debt first. That way, less debt accumulates over time. However, the biggest con to the debt avalanche method is that if the highest interest rate debt has the highest balance, let's say you owe 15 grand on your credit card, then it's going to take you some time to pay that debt off. And over time, people can sometimes get a little bit more discouraged because they haven't experienced that quick win like they would have with the debt snowball method. And so the feeling of discouragement can cause you to start refocusing your attention in other areas and not really focusing hard on that highest interest rate debt if that debt had the highest balance, because it's going to take you some time to get a win with that debt avalanche method. Okay, my Fit Fam, now that you know the pros and cons of both the debt snowball and the debt avalanche method, which method is the right method for you? Definitely drop how about a $sign in the comment section below to let me know if this is the year that you choose to make your money over. I really hope that you continue to stay fit in your finances, and please don't be a stranger. Follow me at FitWithTiff100 on Facebook and on Instagram, and don't forget that free guide to making your money over at moneymakeoverministries.com. Once again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next upload. Bye. This is a journey for me. I'm still not done, and that's why it's called a journey, I suppose. But if you would like to share this journey with me, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below. And that way you will be able to stay tuned for more of my videos in the future. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, YouTube.